Are you going to be drawing, or are you picking one of these fine gentlemen out?
I'm going to pick one of them.
Okay, there's your list of players. You can re-familiarise yourself with your options. There's plenty of options there for you. Who would you like, Mr. Melling?
I'll go for Keithley's number 2.
Yes, Arfan Dad, come on! Oh, how long have you wanted to do that?
Oh, years.
Arfan, come on in. Oh.
I wasn't expecting that.
I'm guessing you were expecting that.
Yeah, you kind of insinuated it before, so I was half expecting it.
Well, now we finally get to settle the question. Who is the best of Keithley, Arfan Dad or Chris Melling? We're about to find out next in The Last Man Standing.
In terms of, you know, what we saw last year was Tom winning the tournament by picking essentially the lowest ranked player. I just stopped on my tracks, thought we might have a golden break to start, but it is an excellent break from Chris Melling. Last year we saw Tom essentially go from bottom up, worked his way through the field. This time round we're not seeing that. We've seen brilliance from Callum in terms of calling out Declan Brennan, and now we've seen it straight away with Chris Melling here. This has got a different feel to it this year already. Yeah,
and the real winners are the lower ranked qualifiers who are probably thinking they'd be out first, of just sitting watching some great pool and have had no part in it.
Well, yeah, there's some of them. I mean, if I was one of those players, I'd be sat there going, well, I'd be hiding. I'd be sat out the way and going, do you know what, you guys, you have your fun. You guys carry on. I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, and it's got the feel that we could see a couple of surprise names tomorrow. It looks like a couple of people could slip under the radar.
Yeah, well, the one thing you got here with Chris is he's got Arfan Dad, who's been in great form. So as good as cool as it was from our perspective, he does have to deal with Arfan now. And obviously it's a double-edged sword because there'll be some banter flying around if he loses it as well. But perfect opportunity to get off to the ideal start here.
Yeah, I mean, I love the call. It's a big one from Chris because he's obviously one of the favourites to win the tournament and will want to get some silverware. So it's not the easy way to do it. Arfan Dad up to 13th in the provisional rankings. He's a good start to the year.
It's a quick start from Chris though, isn't it? And this is a great opportunity to make that breakthrough, this sort of tournament where it is fun, but it is still a very real tournament to win. But he does know that he is going to have to hit the ground running here because Chris is playing well.
Yeah, you wouldn't exactly say he's a player that slips under the radar, but he's one of those ones that perhaps gets higher up in the rankings than you're expecting. He just seems to go about his business, just wins a lot of stuff. And as you say, he's constantly knocking on the door of big results.
I just think he's a player that if you were, who do you think, you know, if we had as we have done before with Nick on Ultimate Pool Extra, we talk about, you know, who we think is going to win the tournament. We never talk about Arfan, but he is in the quarterfinals almost every single tournament. Just he's there or thereabouts all the time, and he absolutely should be in the conversation for all the tournaments. Obviously yet to win one, but he's been close.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's well within the top 16 tells a story. Like, the standard at the top of the pro rankings is pretty insane right now. Yeah, and I mean, he's just always there. Any given day, you wouldn't be at all surprised if you heard he'd had a deep run. That's not something that raises any eyebrows.
Yeah, got a really good break as Arfan, and he had a really good break here, but not a good leave. And he's played a really clever choice of a couple of shots to get himself the colour set, which was dominant, and to then take an extra red off the table, basically making reds even worse. And he may not still go in one visit here, but he can do if he wants to, but he's certainly got the dominant colour set.
These two know each other very well, of course, hence the call. They know each other's games very well.
They're both from the same town near Leeds. He has gone for it straight away, but 8-ball not opened up. Now this is slightly trickier.
This is a good chance, of course, for Arfan, because if he beats Chris, he gets the bounty, or at least he gets into that random draw to get the bounty. I suppose you could say that if he's not going to win, he gets his Saturday back. He gets it done quickly one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a really good opportunity. If you've got to spin it in your own mind to be that opportunity, haven't you? This is a chance to win the Be More bounty that's on Chris's head as a hitman, and also you're one step through getting yourself to 3, and who knows from there. But you feel like a lot hinges on this frame. You saw previous match, Eddie Barker had an opportunity to make it 2-2, a really good opportunity to make it 2-2, and didn't take it. And that kind of was the match, really, because Chris, you know, Chris is going to play well, and he did. He made one mistake in the match, and It did cost him the frame, but he's just capable of such high level, sustained high level. Got to be on it to beat Chris Melling.
Yeah, he's got such a big break. You just know he's going to do a lot of his own work without you giving him chances. Arfan is definitely in that collection of players that's more than capable of turning up to that level. As you can see here. Just to draw the cue ball back ever so slightly. Good reply from Arfan. As you rightly say, this is an important frame. This format, ending up 2-0 down, is very hard to get back from.
Yeah, in this sort of frame here, we see so many, you know, break clearances and reverse clearances and great finishes.
You've also got to play the right shots. You can't just be thinking just because it's Chris Melling, you don't have to blitz every ball in just because he's doing that. If there's a safety shot to be played, you've got to go for it.
Wow, how's this dry? Felt like there was jaws hit galore, but nothing dropping.
Yeah, didn't want for pace on that, did he?
Controlled the cue ball as well. That was a lovely break. That felt flushed.
Yeah, now this is a great chance. He's got it back level. Good chance now for Arfan to potentially get one ahead. Whereas the first few matches of the day, time seemed to be a major factor. Needless to say, as soon as Melling's involved, time seems almost irrelevant. There's still 15 on the match clock.
It does feel like when Chris plays, the match clock goes slower. And it's quite ridiculous, really, because it feels like every single match is like that.
Yeah, and having to play with the quick shot clock is nothing for him. He's playing at that pace anyway.
Yellow's the choice then for Arfan. The one nearest the right centre is slightly guarded by that red. That's why he was just looking to see if it went down to the bottom right-hand corner. If it did, he probably would have taken it. Just get that one out of the way. It's not really a problem ball, but equally, being high on it doesn't connect to anything, and it's not guaranteed to finish low on it. So it is just the awkward ball of the layout here.
He's got a very straightforward, uncomplicated style, Arfan. Just seems to get on with it. Doesn't look like he's rushing, but gets about it at a nice pace. Almost looks like he's got a plan. I guess as soon as Chris came to the table, he knew he had to get ready. We were teasing him at the beginning. He wasn't in his playing gear and was at risk of being called out whilst not ready to play, but he definitely turned up ready to play for this one.
Yeah, it was almost as though he had inside knowledge. He was in there with shorts and a t-shirt on, and he was told, "What are you doing? You could be on in 2 minutes' time." He said, "I'll be fine." Oh, he must have known. He knew the random draw.
So you see a bit more of that random draw today with the change of format, which is kind of fun addition. We've said so many times this tournament's hard to predict, but it's already played in quite a different way from last year in terms of the way people have gone about the picks.
Yeah, I know we had a couple of road picks last year with Neil picking out Tom and Craig Waddingham picking out Gareth Potts, but it feels different this year, doesn't it? It feels like there's going to be a bit more spice in some of the picks for a variety of reasons.
Which is great to see. This tournament is all about entertainment as well as the great quality pool. And the great quality pool is continuing from Arfan. That was a good clearance he's taken out there.
You've only missed Chris Melling making a clearance, but there was a moment of magic in that clearance. This shot here was, well, best shot of the day so far. Absolute brilliance from Chris Melling. That won him the frame, and it puts him 3-2 in front. And it looked like he was about to go 3-1 behind to Arfan Dad, and he has turned it around completely. Now he's 3-2 in front. Arfan has the break, desperate need of a clearance or winning this frame to get it back on terms, and that last roll is going to be very deflating for him because he has no shot after a very good break.
Such small margins, had such a good chance to go 3-1 up, and then as soon as you slip behind, stuff like this seems to start happening.
Yeah, and you feel like if he could have seen a red, you feel like reds are pretty good. The yellows was going to be awkward top left, but he has nothing. And the only saving grace he has, slightly, is that this match has gone along at such a good pace, as it so often does with Chris Melling, that there is time, but He's got to somehow stop Chris from having a chance off this. Well, has he stopped Chris from being able to pot a red rather than a yellow? Because that would help Arfan.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's got a direct shot. He can make the plant to the top left, although that's not easy where the balls are.
Well, he was lining up something there, so maybe he does have a route through to a red, but it doesn't look obvious.
You can normally tell just by the amount of time. He's so quick normally if there's a shot on. It's all about trying to get the reds here.
He's taken on the shot you suggested, and that was excellent. That was far from easy, but what it also did was the only awkward red on the table was the ball he used to play the plant with, and now he's on that to the left centre, and these reds are absolutely lovely. It is important that he leaves a good angle to get onto the 8-ball, and that's why he's forced that. You may be looking at that thinking, well, he could have just played that and tracked through, but he wanted to open up that red to left centre to be his connection to the 8-ball.
It's the thing that can be the difference. Like, a lot of players are good in the easier positions, but it's just playing that extra shot, which you didn't need to at this point, but just to make it easier later on. Not just the vision for the shot in front of you, it's seeing the whole clearance.
Touch short though on that one. Had to use the red, and now he's got too much angle and he's hampered queuing. If he comes down the table an extra 3-4 rolls on the previous shot, he doesn't have to play the cannon, and it's simple. Now he's in trouble.
Yeah, this is horrible. If he's straight on this, it's such an easy shot, but he's going to have to find a very unnatural path, which he hasn't found. I don't think he has. So he just left a gap.
He's eyeing us up. Might have it to the centre pocket. No. Surely not. Oh, he did as well. He cannot believe that he's gone in off there. And, well, Arfan, you have a chance here for 3-3, and we're going to go to a decider if you can find this counter.
Very good spot for the counter, because the only difficult ball he can, well, he attempted to bump out. It's not bad, but was looking to knock it a bit further from the cushion.
Yeah, nearly ran out of time, didn't he?
Yeah, the shot clock, even for the experienced players, can catch up with you. One of these positions, it's not really anything difficult to do, but you can make it look difficult if you don't go the right order about it.
Has he got a touch too much angle in the centre here? This is not ideal. That was a much better shot than it looked. Really killed the cue ball well.
Yeah, had to get this angle. Didn't want to be drifting the wrong way. Again, able to just kill the ball in. He's not going to be able to get super close to the 8-ball, but as long as he leaves himself a straightish shot at it, he's normally quite receptive down the rails, played at pocket weight. Would you just give this a chance and play at pocket weight, or do you be more confident and cue it in? He's cued it in. It's just dropped.
Used it all. He wasn't sure when he hit it. It wasn't the cleanest, but it went in, and that's all that matters for Arfan Dad. But 6 reds definitely in play as well. Well, Chris will be happy. He has a chance, and that's all you can ask for. Probably didn't hit these as well as previous breaks in the match that didn't have the same level of success, but that doesn't really matter in this point. You just want a chance, and he's got it.
Yeah, the advantage of being in first as well in this kind of situation, you can go for the clearance, and sometimes you can use up enough time that if you don't get the clearance, there isn't time for the other guy.
Is he straight enough to hold for the yellow by the 8-ball to bottom right? that's the only ball that doesn't, well, it probably needs any kind of real attention. Yes, he can. In fact, he probably held a little bit too well. He'd love to have been the other side of the straight so he could get to the ones on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I don't think he thought he'd be able to hold it as much as that. Should still be okay, but it's not quite as natural a positional shot.
Yeah, you can. That was a great camera angle to see. Just the other side of the straight angle would be perfect. So, accepting what he's got. Just needs the 8 ball, and he's still on the yellow. Still in good position.
He's taking these quite quickly, so there is still time for the counter clearance. Right now, that doesn't look like it's going to be a factor.
Cool, used it all. I'm surprised he didn't top through and go underneath the yellow to right centre, because now he's got a real shot to play. Having a good laugh with each other because of the 8 ball that Arfan made and the ball that Chris has just made.
Well, he had a shot to play, but he's played it in a pretty effortless way.
It is Chris Melling that gets the victory. First match we've seen go all the way to a deciding frame. It is Chris that has got the victory though, and he has knocked out Arfan Dad. Arfan's missed his opportunity to try and get his hands on the Be More bounty. Chris now has a decision to make.
You've got a choice now, Mr. Melling, because you've won 2, which means your choices are limited. You can either go to the random draw, or you can pick out a fellow ultimate pool last man standing bounty. Who would you? What would you like to do? Who do you want to play?
I'd like to play Lee Kendall. Just a random one.
Random draw, okay, he's decided. It's going to be a random draw, so we're going to let you look at this screen here, Chris, to find out your opponent as everybody nervously looks on. Chris Melling, 1 game away, of course, from the hot seat. Who is it going to be? Oh, it's Jack Whelan! Wowee, it's Bouncy v Bouncy. Come here, Chris. What are your thoughts on that one, pal?
Listen, they're all tough. It's a race to 4, and every single player that's in the event can beat everybody can beat everybody. So a flick of a coin, it's going to come down to the breaks.